Hey guys, in this video I would like to give you a brief introduction into the new logic feature. This feature is not available to everybody yet, so all you need to do is to request that feature. You can do this by, if you're in your project, and if you create a new hotspot, you can already, let me create a hotspot real quick, you can already see that there's a logic section right here, and this is where you can request access. Then in a couple days we will give you access to this feature and you can get started right away to build awesome stuff. Please let us know what you're doing because we're really curious what can be done with this feature and how we can enhance it. But yeah, you click on this link and then it opens up a form. You just tell us what you would like to do with logic and we will make it happen to your project. All right, once we've enabled logic to your project, you will see two new things. One is the variable editor and one is the new logic section right here having conditions and events. And this is what I would like to show you. Let's say we have two scenes. The second scene is the final scene. I call it final. Whoop. And let's say we want to have a certain condition, like somebody needs to open two hotspots before he can go to that scene. So let's add two more. Oh, let me configure this scene link real quick. So we want to jump in the final scene. So, and then we create two conditions. We want the person to read a certain text box, for example, and we want them to open an image hotspot. So we create two variables for this case. One is opened text box, and then we can select, we create a new variable here, and we name it, and we can decide if this is, what is the scope of this variable. One is scene. Scene means that all those variables will go back to their default value once the user leaves or enters the scene. So it is, the variable is just in the scope of the scene. If we click persistent, the value remains the same during the whole session. And furthermore, like if you have another feature called app users, this information will be stored onto their account. So for this example, I just need to do it with scene variables, and we set as default value something like false, or we can just leave it empty. That's fine. It's okay. So I'll leave it empty. And then I create another variable and I call it opened image. So this is also scene variable, and we also leave this empty. So we've created both. Once we created both, we can use them in the logic section. So let me create two new hotspots. One is the text hotspot we put right here, and thanks for reading important text. So this is the text box we want the user to read, and then we go on logic and we say, okay, what happens if the user interacts? So what happens if this hotspot is opened? We set this open text box to 1. So this is what happens. The user opens the hotspot and then the open text box variable will be set to 1. We also do this for the image hotspot. So we create this image hotspot right next to it. And let me configure an image real quick. We just use the icon here. And we say, okay, if somebody clicks on that one, we also want the following thing to happen. We want to have the variable opened image to be set to 1. Once we've done that, we configure the conditions. So conditions means this hotspot is only allowed to appear when the following conditions are met. So the conditions are, we want open text box to be equals 1, and we want the opened image variable to be equals 1. So once those two hotspots have been opened, this hotspot is allowed to appear. So I'll save this. And now we need to test drive the app. So if you haven't done it yet, download the appropriate app for your system. I'll use the normal Mac one. It's easier to show you what happens. All right, this is the VR Studio app. And if you haven't done it yet, we need to add our project to this app. All right. So let's start my little project. And as you can see now, there are only 2 hotspots in this scene. If we click the first one, it opens our important text and thanks for reading. And this will in the background set the text box variable to equals 1. And then we need to open this one. And as you can already see, I've opened this and this hotspot just appeared. So if I click on this hotspot, I'll be in the other scene. So what you can see is the logic feature is pretty straightforward. It enables you to let things appear in one scene or in another. As I mentioned, you can set the scope to the persistent variables, so you can also track informations over like in another scene. So if you create a escape room scenario or learning app, whatever, you can track certain events. You can also use this with the quiz hotspot and stuff like that. So yeah, give us a little drop in this logic feedback form. Let us know what you want to build. We'll try to help you. We are really excited to see what you guys are building. Thanks for watching.